How do I look?
You look fantastic. Honestly,
Good.
I'm impressed.
Russ, I got some harsh words for you this week, and I'm sorry.
About the trade?
I'm gonna rag on you a little bit.
That's alright, as long as you give me a chance to defend myself.
I will.
Okay.
I will. All right, I'm ready when you are. Do you have a marquee matchup sign?
No.
Okay. We'll just wing it.
I got music too.
Ooh.
Tell me if you can hear this.
Oh yeah.
Can
That's
you?
nice, actually.
Alright.
Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Week 2 Recap Show. He's James, the Thrusting Moynihan in Texas, and I am Ross Berge here in Virginia. We start off with the top 2 draft picks being traded this week. Adrian Peterson being shipped from Burgalicious to Kindergarten Cop for Rashard Mendenhall and Deshaun Jackson, and Chris Johnson being traded along with Eli Manning to BMAC squad for Matty Ice and Javid Best. Your thoughts, Jimbo?
Well, Ross, right on cue, the teams prove that they're not comfortable with their teams after making trades just after the second week here. I like the trades really for both BMAC and Andy, as both had gone winless. They both needed a big player, and they got just that. They got arguably the 2 best running backs. Andy's team looks a little frightening, as he has an opportunity to have not only the best running back in the league in Adrian Peterson, but then also featuring Calvin Johnson, arguably the best wide receiver. I don't know, you didn't seem to mention this, but I actually made a trade as well, as I brought back old friend to the Rat Tail squad, Larry Fitzgerald, while I shipped out shipwrecks like D'Angelo Steak and Cheese sub and shithead Dwayne Bowe to Brendan, who's an idiot.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that trade. I'm sorry, Jamie.
Yeah, big deals going on. So, what was your mindset in that really interesting trade?
Well, for me, I feel like I got 2 good players for one obviously great player, and I also needed a quarterback to switch on and off with Ryan Fitzpatrick depending on the matchup.
Yeah, well, time will tell who made the best move. Let's get a little rundown of this past week, Roscoe.
We had Rex Ryan's Pedophiles 85 versus the Thompson Takeover 75. Albert got his first win of the young season, and JK falls to 0-2 thanks to goose eggs from both Plaxico Burris and Mike Williams.
A tough performance there. I got Bergalicious going 130 against Kindergarten Cop at an 88. Ross goes from worst to first this week as he puts up absolute monster numbers against Andy. Ryan Fitzpatrick makes him forget all about Peyton Manning, and Ross collects huge days from Adrian Peterson and Miles Austin. Andy liked what Ross did so much that week that he traded for Ross's best player 3 days later.
Good point. Next up, we had Doug lied about his vasectomy, 120, to Hainsworth's Jiggly Tits, 96. Chooch starts out 2-0 again this year, backed by another big performance from Tom Brady. And BMAC not only loses his second game, but also loses Jamal Charles for the entire year.
Tough loss there. We move on to the Fighting Frog Swamps, coming up big against Jed's Corporate Fat Cats. Brendan actually improves to 2-0. The rookie coming in at a 2-0 as the Frog Swamps, or should I say the Detroit Lions, actually have a big day. Brendan features 3 Lions players who actually accounted for 55 of Brendan's 113 total points. I don't think fantasy football has ever had the Detroit Lions putting up that many points on one team in 1 week.
Good point. Next up, we had Kim Kardashian's Lack of Bush, 124, versus Grimsley Bears, 105. Snoots gets a big performance from Vincent Jackson to lead the pack at 2-0 with his second straight 100-point game. Grimsley Bears also puts up 100 points, but now falls to 1-1 on the young season.
Next up, we got Jed's Too Big to Fail and Fat Albert's Fan Club. I'm sorry, I said Jed. I meant Jake. Similar J's there. Jake pulls out a win this week despite getting only 3 points from Arian Foster in his season debut. Jeremy Macklin's 2-touchdown performance on Sunday night leads the way to Jake's first win of the season, and Jed now falls to 1-1.
Yeah. And you, Jamie, A-Town Rattails, 84, sneaks out a victory versus Honolulu Flying Hawaiians, 63, as you defeat your best man in a low-scoring affair. Rag only puts up 63 points and remains winless after 2 weeks.
Tough start for Rag there. Tough start. Let's talk a little bit about the waiver wire. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. On the waiver wire, we had lots of receivers being picked up and actually plugged into lineups this week, including Eric Decker, David Nelson, Denarius Moore, Mohamed Massaquoi, and Kevin Ogletree. Your thoughts?
Well, Decker's had 2 solid weeks, but for me, the Raiders are so bad at the receiver position that Moore was really a no-brainer as the top wide receiver and top pickup this week after putting up over 100 yards last week, and the coach actually saying that they're going to try and get him more involved in the offense. I was surprised that he fell to me as the 4th waiver pickup.
Yeah, I was surprised too, and it's interesting how thin the league is this year with 14 teams. A lot of these free agent pickups are immediately being put right into the lineup, so we'll see how they fare this week. Let's see. This week's matchups, we have the 2 nicest men in the league, Chooch versus John, roommates, Ross versus Albert, 2 burly blonde men, Jed versus Jake, AFC East enemies, Jamie versus Snoots, former college roommates, Rag versus Brendan, can't keep their liquor buddies, Andy and BMAC, and should have been roommates, Grim and JK.
It's a week of roommates here as Rag and Brendan face off, and you and Al, and obviously should have been roommates in Grim and JK. But to me, to the marquee matchup, or should I say the marquee matchup, it has to be you versus Albert as we go into the start of week 3. What are your thoughts?
I agree. Let's get Albert on the phone here.
Doesn't he live with you?
I got his number. Oh yeah, that's right, Albert.
Oh, sure.
Albert?
Oh, man.
Please enter the
Call me.
Please enter the room.
My dear friends.
And look,
Dear
we have
friends.
an actual live guest for the first time on our recap show.
I'm really happy.
Albert
I'm the first.
Burzoin. Al, you are the marquee matchup of this week as you face off against yours truly. Your thoughts in this week's matchup?
Honestly, Ross, I think you should be really, really afraid. And let me tell you why.
Tell me. Please tell me.
First of all, Fitzpatrick is going to fail miserably against the Pats. And you know why? Every time he fails, the defense is going to get more points. And guess who has the defense?
Who's that?
I don't know. Yours truly. Yours truly. Moving to the next point, I think Best, who people think was a bad mistake on my part to get, is going to have a monster game because Minnesota's defense has been below par, to say the least. And I think Matty Ice, who Rag for some reason does not like a lot, I think is going to have at least 25 fantasy points.
All right.
You heard it here first time.
25.
So,
All right.
25.
We'll see. Jamie, do you have any questions for Albert?
Well, not so much questions. I mean,
Concerns?
a couple things. As I mentioned, I didn't like really either of your trades.
okay.
BMAC pulls off what is the epitome of a buy low, sell high trade. As he sends off Javed Best.
So let me ask you a question. You're solely going by last year's numbers.
I'm not simply talking. Really, I think that the similarities here from Javed Best last year, I don't know if you remember this, he had 2 solid weeks that were in week 1 and 2, and then he was fucking awful the rest of the way, and you just gave up the arguably the best running back in the league. But with that
that's
said,
the key right there, arguably.
with that said, I do think that you will pull it out this week against Roscoe. Ross, you're starting both Ogletree and Mohamed Massaquoi in your starting lineup.
I think both of them are going to be the #1 targets for their respective teams this year.
Yeah, they just got to catch, you know.
Sure.
And they gotta throw.
I mean, there was a reason that they weren't drafted, and there is
a reason they weren't drafted, but there's
there
a
is
reason they were
absolute-
picked up this week.
Agree to disagree, right, gentlemen? Agree to disagree.
no way that both of them should be in any team's starting lineup.
Top receivers for
2
their
weeks.
teams this week. Austin and Des Bryant will be out.
I mean, when you polish a piece of shit, it's still a piece of shit, you know?
That's a good point.
So.
That's a good point. I'll keep that in mind next
That's
time I
a
go
great-
to the waiver wire.
All right. Well, that's all I've got really.
Jim, that looks. I wanted to comment on your hotel room. That looks really nice. Where are you staying?
Yeah, it looks really good.
Hey.
Per dim?
DoubleTree Resort. It's a resort. It's not just a hotel. It's DoubleTree Resort.
Is it all inclusive?
The internet is inclusive.
They include
So that's
the internet.
nice.
That's good. That's good.
Excellent, excellent.
The internet there's a bar downstairs. I might hit that up once we hang up.
All right. Well, Have fun, buddy. We'll see you back when you get back to Virginia soon.
Good night to everyone, and good luck. Snoots, you're fucked.